In the previous session, we discussed how JDBC User Detail Manager works with the default schema recommended by the Spring Security. However, in many real-world situations, business teams or project managers may not be comfortable using the exact database schema provided by the Spring Security. If you look at the default user table, it only contains 3 columns, which is username, password, and enabled. This structure is very simple and may not match the requirement of real enterprise application. For example, instead of storing a username, some application may want to use email as a login identifier. So many authentication systems today allow users to log in using their email addresses. The similarly, real-world application may require many additional fields such as mobile number, address detail, account status, profile information, and many more such attributes. So because of this requirements, organizations usually prefer to design their own database schema rather than using the default schema recommended by the Spring Security. So in such cases, we need to create custom tables to store user information. After these custom tables, we also need to update our Spring Security configuration so that authentication reads data from this table. So this will be our next enhancement in the application. Now let's start by creating a custom table. Instead of using the default user table, I'm going to create a new table called customer. For the instance of time, I have already created the query. So this is the query which I have created to create a table. First, we will create an ID column. This column will act as a primary key and it will use an auto increment sequence so that each customer record gets unique ID automatically. Next, instead of the username, we are going to use an email column. This column will store the user email address and will have a data type of varchar 45. Next, this will create a column to store the password. Instead of naming it password, I can also use a PWD. The data type of this will be varchar 45, but I think it should be 200. The reason for choosing length 200 is because password will be hashed and hashed value usually requires a larger storage size. Finally, I will add another column which is the role, and this column will store the role of authorities assigned to the user, for example, user admin. So this is just a simple example table. In the real world, the customer table may contain dozens of columns such as contact information, profile table, account, and much more. But since our focus in our Spring Security, we will keep the table simple to avoid unnecessary complexity. All this column will be marked as not null. Now I'll just execute the SQL's query. Okay. So now the table is created. Let me just refresh the database. Yes. Just click on view data. So 4 columns are now prepared. For your reference, I will also store this script inside our script.sql. Next, I will also paste this to user that we have created. Next, let's insert some of the data inside this table. So currently our table is empty. Select star from customer limit 10. So our table is empty. Let's just insert into customer and I'll just specify the email, the column name, email, password, and role. I'll just use values, and here I'll just add Rishabh@example.com, no op, Rishabh@01 hash 2000, comma, read, and just again copy this, copy, paste, and this would be the Ajay. Password would be copy. I'll just go to the browser, bcrypt, paste, Ajay, generate hash, copy, bcrypt, I'll just give Rishabh as admin role and Ajay as a user role. Let me just execute this. Okay, so I got an error. Values. Okay, and there was some typo. We just insert this user. Okay, so till now, like we have inserted two new entries, two new user into our custom table. So in the next lecture, we will see how we can use this custom table inside our code to authenticate users using Spring Security. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and share it with your friends who are learning Spring Security. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming lectures in the series. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.